The Euro 2024 is finally coming this summer in Germany, and just a few days ago over the weekend they did the group stage draw, and in today's video I'm going to be looking at each group, looking at all the teams, and giving you guys my early predictions on which teams I think will advance and which teams will get knocked out. I'm going to be going from Group A all the way down to Group F, so without further ado, let's get right into this video. Starting off with Group A, and in my opinion this is actually a very tough group. We have Germany, Hungary, Scotland, and Switzerland. Starting off with Germany, they are obviously the favorites to make it out of this group because throughout history, they have always been one of the best teams in the world. They've won 4 World Cups, and across other international competitions, they've always been a big powerhouse. But recently, Germany have not been on good form. Not too long ago, they fired their previous manager Hans Flick to bring in Julian Nagelsmann, as they thought that he would improve the squad and get them back on track. But in Nagelsmann's recent 4 games, they have only won 1 of those games. They drew 1, and the other 2 games have both been losses. In Germany's last 10 games, they have only won 2 of those games, and they have lost 6 of them. That is horrible form for an incredible team with incredible players in Germany. But this competition is still very far away. It is another 6 months away, and within this time, I do think Germany will get back on track, and I still think they are probably the best team in this group. The other 3 teams in this group are all very good teams. Switzerland, Hungary, and Scotland are all above average teams, and realistically any one of them could advance with Germany. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about Scotland as the underdogs in this group, but personally I just don't see them getting through. For me, the main competition for second place is between Hungary and Switzerland. I'm not writing off Scotland, but I just don't think they are at the same level as both Hungary and Switzerland. I think it will be very tough between these 2 teams on who advances, but personally I think Switzerland will just edge it. Hungary are a very good team, and they do have a few really good players. We've seen Dominik Szoboszlai tear up the Premier League this season, but I think their team as a whole doesn't have the same quality that Switzerland have, and Switzerland have been doing very good in recent competitions, in the last Euros, even in the World Cup. So for that reason, I do think Switzerland will advance out of this group. So my final prediction for Group A is that Germany and Switzerland will advance. Hungary do have a chance to get to 3rd place and possibly advance to the next round, but sadly for Scotland, I don't think they have any chance. Moving on to Group B, and this is being considered the group of death. And sadly, my country, Italy, is in this group. We have Albania, Croatia, Italy, and Spain. Since I am rooting for Italy, let's start off with them. I think Italy are a very good team. They are definitely the top 10 best teams in the world. But recently they've been having a little bit of difficulty, especially in the group stages, where they nearly got knocked out by Ukraine. Now, I do think that the Italian manager Luciano Spalletti will bring good things to the side, because I've seen what he did last season with Napoli, who I also support, and I'm a really big fan of his work, his tactics, and his ability to change games within 10 minutes. So I do think that he will provide good tactics to the Italian team. I think he will incorporate a lot of young players into the starting 11. And I do think that they have a good chance to make it out of this group. Moving on to Spain, I do think they are probably the favorites to make it out of this group, because recently they have been playing very good. They just recently won the UEFA Nations League, and their team as a whole is probably one of the top 5 best teams in the world. I think that one thing that Spain have been lacking for the last few years is a really quality striker. And obviously they've had Morata for many years, but this season he's playing better than he has for the last few years. And I really think that him helping out this Spain team, I think they will definitely get 1st place in this group. Talking about Croatia, they are always a very underrated team. We've seen what they've done in the World Cup. We've seen what they did in the last World Cup. And realistically, even though their squad keeps getting older, they seem to keep getting better and better. Their squad is aging like fine wine. So many quality players in that team, and they are definitely a top 10 team in the world. So between Croatia, Italy, and Spain, I think this is going to be very tough for the first 2 spots. But don't rule out Albania, because I've been hearing a lot of people already confirming that they're going to get knocked out of this group because they are ranked 62 in the world by FIFA. But if you've seen how they've been playing recently, especially in the Euro qualifications, they have been playing incredibly, scoring incredible goals, and playing incredibly attacking football. And I think they do have a chance to come 3rd in this group. I wouldn't rule them out automatically. They are definitely not at the same level as the other 3 teams, but they can definitely pull off an upset or 2. So my prediction for this group, and it is very tough, but I do think Spain and Italy are most likely to qualify out of this group. I think Croatia is probably most likely to get 3rd place, and I do think Albania will come last place. Now, nothing is certain because this is the group of death, but these are my predictions at the moment. Moving on to Group C, the 4 teams we have is Denmark, England, Serbia, and Slovenia. Starting off with England because they are probably favorites to win this whole competition. Again, they have a very easy group. No disrespect to Denmark, Serbia, and Slovenia. You are still very good teams, but nowhere near the level of England. I think they are one of the best teams in the world. We've seen how good some of the English players are playing this season, especially their attackers and their midfielders. Players like Kane, Saka, Jude Bellingham are all some of the best players in their position in the whole world. But one problem that England's had for the last World Cup and even the last Euros is Gareth Southgate. I personally think that if a better manager was in charge of England during the 2020 Euros, I think they definitely would have beat Italy in that final game. And even in the World Cup, I think they would have had a pretty good chance to win that competition if they had a better manager. Personally, I think Gareth Southgate, his decisions on who to take for the squad are bad, his tactics are bad, and just his general football knowledge is not the greatest. But as for who's going to come second place, this is very, very tough between Denmark, Serbia, and Slovenia. All of these teams have been playing fairly well recently, but one team that stands out to me a little bit more than the rest is Serbia. Serbia, in my opinion, are a very, very stepped on team, and they have some incredible players, especially in their attack, where they have Dusan Tadic, Kostic, Vlahovic, Mitrovic, incredible players in their team. And yes, although Denmark may have more experience than Serbia in the Euros, especially in the 2020 Euros, where Denmark actually did pretty good, I do think Serbia will secure the second place spot in this group. So my predictions for Group C will be that England and Serbia advance to the next round. Denmark will most likely finish in 3rd place, and I do think Slovenia will get knocked out. Moving on to Group D, the 4 teams we have are France, Netherlands, Austria, and the winner of playoff Group A. Starting off with France, they are definitely one of the best teams in this competition. We've seen what they did in the World Cup. We've seen what they did in the last World Cup. And in terms of international competitions, they have probably the best squad in the world. In the attack, in the midfield, and in the defense, France, in my opinion, have the best player-for-player team in the whole world. I think they are absolutely incredible. But the problem with France is that sometimes in these competitions, they do struggle against lesser ranked teams. We've seen it in the last Euros where they got knocked out by Switzerland. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but there is a chance that they maybe won't make it as far as what some people think. Moving on to the Netherlands, I think they are a fantastic team, a lot of incredible players, and in the Euro qualification, they were definitely one of the best teams. And we've seen in other recent competitions, for example, in the World Cup, Netherlands nearly beat Argentina, while Argentina obviously did end up winning the World Cup, meaning that the Netherlands are a top team, and I do think they are the second team that have the most chance to advance out of this group. Now, I'm not writing off Austria because, in my opinion, they're an incredible team. They have incredible players from the defense, the midfield, and in the attack, and I do think that they are one of those teams that has a chance to upset the likes of France or Netherlands, but I don't think they will be able to push them to their limits like possibly some other teams could, and for that reason I see them finishing in 3rd place. Moving on to the winner of playoff A, this could be one of 4 teams. Either Wales, Finland, Poland, or Estonia will be playing in this group stage. Now, to be honest, I do think it will be between Wales and Poland, but I do think Poland are the most likely team that will be playing in this group stage. But even if they do make it to the group stages, I don't really see them making any really big difference in this group, and I do think that they will probably finish in last place. So my final prediction for Group D will be that France and Netherlands advance to the next round, and Austria and whoever the winner of playoff A is will battle it out to see who finishes in 3rd and see who gets knocked out. Moving on to Group E, the 4 teams we have are Belgium, Romania, Slovakia, and the winner of playoff B. Personally, I think this group is probably the lowest ranking group in terms of the quality of the teams. I'm not saying these teams are bad, and they are definitely quality teams, but I don't think any of them will really challenge Belgium. Belgium have been ranked in the top 5 for the FIFA rankings for many years now, but sadly in recent competitions like the World Cup or previous Euros, they haven't been performing to their standard, and to be honest, they've been very underwhelming. But in this Euro competition, I do think that they have a very good squad, maybe better than what we've seen in previous years, and I do think that they have a good chance to advance out of this group. But who's going to get second place in this group? That is going to be very, very close, because both Romania and Slovakia are very, very closely ranked in the FIFA rankings. Romania is ranked 43rd place, while Slovakia is ranked 45th. So realistically, I think any one of these teams could advance out of this group. As for the winner of playoff B, this will either be between Bosnia and Herzegovina, Ukraine, Israel, and Iceland. And to be honest, I think the realistic expectation for who's going to play in this group will be Ukraine. I think they are definitely the best out of the other three teams. And realistically, I think they probably have the best chance, even over Romania and Slovakia, to advance out of this group. Ukraine obviously did very, very good in the Euro qualifications. They drew against Italy, they drew against England, and realistically, they had a very good chance to advance out of that group over Italy. So for that reason, I don't think Romania or Slovakia will qualify out of this group, and I think second place will go to Ukraine. So my final prediction for Group E will be that Belgium and Ukraine advance out of this group, and Slovakia and Romania battle it out for third and fourth place. And finally, moving on to Group F, the final group in this Euro group stage, we have Czech Republic, Portugal, Turkey, and the winner of playoff C. Starting off with Portugal, they are definitely the best team in this group. In the Euro qualification, they played incredibly. They were the best out of probably any team in that qualification. And I do think that in terms of their squad depth and their starting 11, they have one of the best squads in the world. Turkey, in my opinion, are a very, very slept on team. They have some incredible players, and recently they have been on very good form. Not too long ago, they beat Croatia, they beat Germany. So I do think they have a very good chance to make it out of this group. As for Czech Republic, they are obviously a very good team. They qualified from the Euro qualifications, and they do have a few quality players. But compared to Turkey and Portugal, I don't think they're on the same level. And finally, the last team in this group will be the winner of playoff C, which will be either Georgia, Luxembourg, Greece, or Kazakhstan. Realistically, I think this is between either Georgia or Greece, and I do think Greece will end up qualifying and playing in this group stage. But I don't think they have what it takes to advance. Greece are obviously a pretty good team, and throughout history, we all remember what they did almost 20 years ago when they surprisingly won the Euros. But in this group, against Turkey and against Portugal, they do have a chance. I'm not writing them off completely. They definitely have a chance to beat Turkey, but I do think Turkey are the better team. I think they have more quality players, and for this reason, I think Greece will just fall short from the top two, and I think they will most likely finish in third place. So my final predictions in Group F will be that Portugal and Turkey advance, Greece will probably finish in third place, and sadly for Czech Republic, I do think they will get knocked out of this group. And that is the end of my early Euro 2024 group stage predictions. If you guys agree with my predictions, let me know in the comments down below. But if you disagree with my predictions and you think there will be a few upsets and a few unexpected teams that will advance to the knockout stages, again, let me know in the comments down below. And obviously, if you did enjoy this video, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.